Welcome. I am here with someone I am going to call one of my personal secret weapons, and that is Miss Laura Hames Franklin. And she does one of the coolest things I've ever heard of in my life, which I hadn't even heard of it until like just 4 months ago. And she has been helping me kind of transform and shift my whole life. And this has been some of the most amazing work I've ever done with anyone. So because you're way better at explaining it than I am, can you please tell them what Body Talk is?
Okay, absolutely. Well, body talk is actually one of the things that I have studied and practiced. So Liz and I have been working together doing one-on-one sessions with this modality, body talk. So body talk is based on the understanding that the body heals itself. So, obviously we all know, okay, yeah, our bodies are designed to heal themselves, but then, okay, why do we get sick? Like, why do we, have these back pains and digestive problems and headaches, or even just like challenges in our life, like emotional challenges, or we still have these like recurring, conflicts. Maybe just we take them into like different situations, but they're like the same patterns. And so, the premise with body talk and the work that I do is, rather than trying to find the broken part, like, okay, well, what's wrong with your back or what's wrong with your digestive system, it's taking a step back and looking at our whole body, all of our organs, endocrines, body parts, all of the circulation and the energies as well, the whole complete person, and saying, well, rather than looking for the like faulty part, kind of like, a computer and you just replace the hard drive, we're actually going to say, what is it within the whole system? It's like the communication system that needs to be improved. So, the idea is that, when we experience stress, which, hey, you and I live in New York City, and even right now I'm in Hawaii, if you can see, it's beautiful outside, but wherever you are, even if you live in like paradise, there's still stress. And so, we have emotional stress and physical stress and toxins and cell phones and, everyone's talking about stress. And so the idea is that when there's too much of this, it breaks the communication systems within the body. So it's like you plug too many plugs in to the circuit board, and suddenly all the power goes down.
Right.
So, what we can do, and this is, it's when you hear it, it's kind of like, well, of course, there's a part of us that's like, well, of course you can, be able to communicate with the body and get it to heal that, but it's not something that we're taught, and it's not something that is really known about or acknowledged with, in most people's worlds yet.
Right.
So, what we can do, and, how I've been working with Liz, is we can ask the body, where are these areas that need improved communication, and then get the body to go and see them and literally rewire them, and the body heals itself. So that's kind of a, everyone always goes, but how and what does it look like?
And that's what's so funny. I think that's why it's been so amazing for me, because I don't care how it works. I'm just happy that it does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know I've heard before, and it sounds a little like woo-woo, and I know some people are like, oh, don't come at me with that stuff, but this is science, like, it's proven that we only really access something like 3% of our minds consciously. So there's that whole other 97%, and also there are studies that, like, you store memories, it's not just in your mind and your brain, like, memories and emotions, like, they live in your body. So it's really cool to experience being able to release things, get rid of old stuff. So it's been an amazing experience for me, and one of the reasons that I started working with Laura is because, in my own practice of health and fitness, I notice that I create programs that work. With Tighter in 10 Days, people get amazing results. So why is it that hundreds of people have the same program, a few less than that actually follow it, but of the ones that do, do some people get much better results than other people? And obviously there's bio-individuality, but also I know intuitively that there has to be more going on with people other than just what they're eating and how they're exercising. So I've been kind of on a mission, and you guys in my audience know me, the way I do things. I always do self-experimentation first. So that's one of the reasons I've been working with Laura, and that's kind of been my experience, because I really am trying to figure out how else can I reach people, and how else can we shift things around and access the things that we can't really access ourselves but are going on in our bodies, holding us back from our results. So Laura, what is one of the biggest mistakes you see people who just exercise all the time making?
Well, this is an interesting question. It's actually kind of would take me into the other thing that I practice, which is the Franklin method. So maybe I can give a little intro on that as well to be able to better answer this question. So with the Franklin method, this is something that I've been teaching for over like 7 years now, and it teaches people how to use their mind and their ability to imagine things to actually influence and change their body. So it's really taking it almost, another step of like really self-healing and, improving their fitness, improving their movement, improving their whole life. So these two modalities go very hand in hand when we're working with, somebody below just the like surface. And so what we can actually see is that when you have a better understanding of the body, and when you actually know, okay, well, can I imagine what my shoulder looks like underneath my clothes here, and then can I imagine what's underneath my skin? Do I know where the joints are, and it's, sometimes people are like, oh my goodness, I'm like getting in and imagining my like skeleton. And, some people it's a little kind of, it's interesting. We never really go in there. And so when we come to looking at, what people do in fitness, it's very much external. Yeah. There's this perception of strength, which is like hold it and, tighten it. It's interesting. A program is called Tighter in 10 Days because that's what people, that's what people want. They want that outside image of tightness, but as, we're discovering the concept of strength isn't something that's rigid, and it's not something that's tight, because if you just like, why don't you all take your arm out right now, just kind of put your arm out, you can do this with me, and then just bring your arm in and then out, and just notice what happens to your biceps. So maybe put your hand on your bicep right now and just notice when you bring your hand in and then out. So you notice the muscle moves, right? That's what muscles do. They shorten and lengthen, or the filaments are sliding together and sliding apart. And so when we have this idea of, well, I need to find the position and hold it, that's when we then create rigidity, and we don't actually have the movement within our muscles, within our body. And that can create all kinds of tensions on a deeper level within our organs, within our digestive system, within our ability to breathe. So it's, I think it's a combination of educating people on the different levels of what is actually going on. And I think that now, at least our audiences are really ready to take a step deeper than, just kind of what's on the outside, and really reevaluating what is strength and what is flexibility and what is health and how do I get there? How do I actually achieve it?
I love that. One of the things I've been talking to people about lately is just like breathing and like getting into your body and noticing like how you feel, what you feel, where you feel it, because we do spend so much time in the external world. The results you get, even with the program, when you're in and when you can feel and when you actually know what's going on inside your body, are going to be so much greater. So I love that. Right. And I wrote down some questions here for you because I'm a nerd and I didn't want to forget to ask you anything.
You ask me whatever you feel like.
Tell me. I know you're kind of like me. I know we're women on a mission here. What is your biggest mission lately?
Well, my mission's it's pretty out there. So we kind of touched upon these different modalities. And for me, it's not really about the modality. You know, I'm trained in these things. I've been practicing them for years, and I've seen all these incredible results, you know, with thousands of people who I've worked with. And, you know, people can come to me and they can come to me and they've had like back pain for 20 years, and we do one session and their back pain goes away, you know, or they've been, you know, having this disastrous love-hate relationship with their mother, and, you know, for, you know, their whole life. And we have, you know, maybe 2 or 3 sessions and suddenly that changes. Like, the results happen. You know, so I've been working with people in this way, and I've been teaching people about their bodies. But really the underlying, like, I don't know what to call it. It's like this passion that is really driving me forward to be able to, you know, connect with more people and to share this information is something much more fundamental, and it's much more world shifting, you know, because we're all talking about, you know, if we've got one ear out there, or like, you know, you're on Facebook or whatever, like you hear, you know, the shift on the planet, it's 2012, it's like, what's happening? You know, the shifting consciousness, you know, women starting to, you know, develop businesses, the change in, like, the whole structure and worldview is changing. And I feel that the piece with the body and, you know, where does our health come from? How does our mind really affect our body? And what is the universe? You know, everyone's like, oh, the universe, let's manifest things. But like, what the freak is it, you know? And I feel like it's my job to kind of clean up a lot of these words and the like misperceptions, you know, because people can be saying the words, but is it actually in their body, you know? Is the awareness of, like, you know, if your shoulders are constantly tight and you're like, oh yeah, it's all love and peace, but you have tension in your physicality, there's a mismatch. So for me, I feel it's time for us to, like, really get honest to a deeper level, to start and look at some of the things that we've been believing and get down underneath the surface to recognize that fundamentally we are all connected. You know, how are we connected? You know, fundamentally we have the same anatomy. Like, what is that? How does it actually function? Fundamentally, we all have this ability to heal. How does that happen? How do we how do we access that on a more refined level? And I feel like, you know, working with the change masters, you know, people who are like, you know, they've tried all the stuff, they've, you know they can be healthy, they've, you know, they've done the green juices, and they've been to meditation classes, and they've, you know, been to like this and that and the other, and they want to take it to the next level. I kind of feel like, you know, that's my piece on the world, because you know, I always like to bring it back to this thing of energy and the shift on our planet, because, you know, we can see that the way we're currently going with this perception of let's just blow things up to get energy isn't gonna cut it. It's not gonna take us to that next level. And you know, and there is science out there, which, you know, it is out there, but I think it's hard for people to grasp because it is such a shift in paradigm, where we can actually access the energy that is within the structure of space-time. So within, like, you know, every cube of space, there is infinite energy. It's like, where does our ability to heal come from? You know, how did we even get born in the first place? It's a miracle. Like, there's this miraculous energy, which, you know, in the spiritual world, you know, they can call it the universal spirit or whatever, but it actually has, there's actually science behind it, and there's actually a geometry, and you can actually understand it. And I feel that in order for us to, as a planet, be able to access this free energy, to be able to access this power, that our physical bodies need to transform. They need to move to the next level, and that involves us, you know, letting go of our past belief systems and the emotions that are stored in our body, and the, you know, the resistances and the tensions, and, you know, this perception that we are this like physical thing that is the way it is, and it's, you know, food and exercise and, you know, money. And so it's really like us taking that next step into, just as you said, like working on those deeper levels, the real holistic levels, so that, you know, it feels like almost like a new race, like a new human. Like when I, you know, some people say, like, you know, when they have a session with me, it's like they get their superpowers. It's like you get connected to this energy that was already there. It's just we hadn't been able to access it because we'd covered it up. So anyway, did that went all over the universe there.
There's a lot of different layers there, and I know I don't really talk about things like this or at a level
Right.
with my people so often, but it is something I'm so interested in, so I'm so excited to be sharing this. So
Right.
last but not least, I know we're wrapping up here, so tell us, where can people find you? How can people work with you? I do sessions with Laura. She lives in Brooklyn. I live in New York, so I'm close by, and sometimes we do sessions over the phone, but I think you have a group program coming up or something. People need more Laura Hames Franklin in their life, so tell them how to get it.
Oh, yes. So I love connecting with people, and basically I have many different ways you can connect with me. I'm certainly on Facebook and Twitter. I have a website, laurahamesfranklin.com. I make videos every week. You can go on and you can look through my videos. There's all kinds of topics, from like sacroiliac joint pain to is yoga healthy, to breathing, to relaxing your shoulders. So you can go on, and it's an experience. So it's not just me giving you information. It's like you actually go through and experience it.
Yeah, I have cruised through your YouTube channel. There's a lot, and I'll put links to all these things below.
Awesome. And for those who are like captivated by this, you know, when I talk to people, often there are people who are just like, this is it. This is the thing I've been looking for. This is the missing link. And I actually have this program starting on Tuesday, which is called Holy Shift, which is going to be...
I love it. Wait, so Tuesday, is that August 1st or July 31st?
July 31st, 2012. The time is now. It's a 4-week program, twice a week, 8 sessions, each 90 minutes long, and they are all live. So kind of like Liz and I are on Skype right now, I have a platform where I can have a classroom and everybody can be present. And we, throughout that 90 minutes, we discover, okay, you know, where do I want to get to? You know, what are my goals? And we're going to have goals for the 4 weeks. So, you know, maybe it's something in your health that you haven't been able to transform. Maybe it's, you know, something within your business, or like just these, you know, there are blocks where it's like we're doing everything right, but we can't get over them. And so if you have those, this is the program for you, because we're going to be diving deep to these deeper levels of our ability to transform. We're going to be getting into our physicality. We're going to be discovering, how can I reach my goals? How can I have more flow and more joy, and, you know, feel excited to live my day when I wake up in the morning? And how can I release the emotions and, you know, the past patterns that I just, you know, I'm fed up with? And we're going to be accessing the wisdom of the body, to actually experience that. And I guarantee you, you know, by the end of the 4 weeks, in fact, it probably will not even take the whole 4 weeks. By the end of the 4 weeks, you'll be further than, you know, where you imagined at the beginning, because it's going to be like a transmission, you know, we're going to be going deep.
I could imagine. I only see you like once every 3 or 4 weeks. I can't imagine what twice a week will be like. So I'm going to have links to everything so you guys can find Laura. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much for sharing all of your information with us. And is there any last parting, anything you want to share?
Liz, you're awesome. I'm going to give you a big virtual hug. And Yeah, thanks. Because it's, it's interesting you say, it's not something you usually share with your audience, this kind of stuff. It's felt a bit like a coming out for me this past couple of months, because I'm like, I need to get real about what I really do. And I think people are ready for it. So if you are like, oh my goodness, this sounds a little out there, kind of just put that aside for a moment and just experience it. Because once you experience it, there's no going back, and life just becomes so much more fun.
You know what? I love to ask the question, what's the worst thing that could happen? You learn a couple
Right.
things about yourself. Like, you're not going to
Right.
die. This isn't going to be
Right.
like so crazy. It's super interesting. If nothing more,
Right.
you learn something new. You get a different experience. So, all right, Missy, I will talk to you soon.
Oh, yeah. I'll see you soon.
And I'm going to put all the information, everything. Everyone out there, thank you very much for watching.
Awesome.
Really quickly, you'll get more of Laura towards the end of September. I'm working on something. Don't say anything because they don't know anything about it yet, and we're not spilling the beans. But just keep an eye out, because I'm going to be having a special online party, and she's going to be a guest. So, and maybe we're going to give away something fun too. So we'll keep you posted on that.